Welcome to another video, guys. Shelley and I are camping at Lower Sabie, and as always, this is definitely not a video you guys are going to want to miss. What a lion sighting! Oh my word!
And that's got to be one of my favorite parts about coming to the park in the summer.
We're at a roadblock. In this video, Shelley and I go camping in the Kruger National Park, and we stay at Lower Sabie Rest Camp, which is close to the park's southern and eastern boundary. We entered the park at Crocodile Bridge Gate, which is the closest gate to the camp. During our stay in the park, we saw plenty of these European rollers, which are only around during the summer months, and with those vibrant blue colors, they're difficult to miss. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Shelley and I are camping at Lower Sabie for the next 4 nights, and we're very excited to have a look at this area of the park. It's the end of summer and there's been a lot of rain, and the bush is looking so nice and thick and green. And we set up camp at around about midday at Lower Sabie, and now we're on an afternoon game drive, and it's been pretty quiet. We haven't seen much, but still got another hour's drive to go before the gates close at 6:30. Hope you guys enjoy the video. We're gonna enjoy putting it together.
We've stopped here at quite a large herd of impala, and there's lots of little babies around. And that's got to be one of my favorite parts about coming to the park in the summer, is all of the little young ones.
And we even saw one drinking from its mother a few minutes ago. Plenty of animal species were making the most of the flowing water. The crocodile set up a good position, and the hammerkorp showed off its expert fishing skills. Just look at these lightning fast reflexes. Crocodiles are really interesting animals with prehistoric designs. They've been around for millions of years and are basically living dinosaurs. Because there's so much water surrounding Lower Sabie Rest Camp, hippos can be seen grazing on the riverbanks when the temperatures start to drop. I'd say it's the best spot in the Kruger to see hippos out of the water. It's the most perfect evening here at Lower Sabie, and so green, such a contrast to when we were here 6 months ago. And Woodland's kingfisher came past and was perched on the fence line, and a hyena has also passed by. Weren't quick enough to catch him on camera though, but just sitting here and enjoying the colors of the sky. For our first morning drive, we decided to head north from the camp and do some roads that we haven't done much in the past. And because the gates open up at 4:30, it was an early wake up. It's been a quiet morning. I don't think we've seen an impala on this route yet. We saw a few giraffe earlier, but it's really green. Unbelievable to see how the bush transforms after the summer rain. It's just so green, and the birds have also been good. But now we're going to head back towards Lower Sabie and do the roads close by to the camp. We were lucky to see this African cuckoo not far from the camp. They don't usually sit around long enough to get decent footage. We were happy to see this shy bird. This footage really shows how difficult it can be to spot animals when the park is lush and green. The small pack of African wild dogs that we spotted on the S130, they were only a few meters off of the road, yet almost completely hidden by the vegetation. They weren't very active and only got up and moved around a few times before eventually settling down further in, out of sight. On our way back to Lower Sabie, we saw this big flock of white-backed vultures which were feeding on something right next to the road, but we couldn't make out what it was.
After we saw the wild dog this morning, we went back to the camp and chilled in the campsite, had a swim, and also relaxed under a big mahogany tree along the fence line in some nice shade. And now we're on an afternoon drive and we're doing the S21, which is sort of between Lower Sabie and Nkutlu picnic site. And there's a new captain of the ship. Yeah, and it's just gone 5:30 and we actually gonna head back to Lower Sabie now. Quiet in terms of the cats so far this trip.
It was nice to see these double-banded sand grouse, and you can clearly spot the difference between the male and the female. The male has a distinct band on his breast and on his crown, while the female has a more freckled, camouflaged plumage. Because we hadn't had any luck with the cat sightings, we decided to boost our chances and join one of the organized night drives, which takes place in a large safari truck. These drives can be really rewarding. Sometimes you get to see nocturnal wildlife that you never come across during a typical daytime safari. We were incredibly lucky to spot this white-backed night heron, a rare bird to see in the park, and it was our first time seeing it in the Kruger, Shelley's first ever sighting of the bird. And we even got to see our first lions of the trip, a male and female relaxing right next to the road, completely unbothered by our presence. The next morning I was at the gate nice and early and I headed northwest up the tar road towards Nkutlu picnic site. This turned out to be a really rewarding morning drive. really is special to be the first car down the road and come to a lion roadblock. These lions were asleep in a section of road which was under maintenance, and they seemed to be fighting over a traffic cone. The 3 young males and single female were with a much older male lion who didn't look in the strongest condition. I think this could have been the father of the 3 younger and much stronger looking males.
What a lion sighting!
They were completely unbothered by the vehicles and headed up the tar road, eventually moving off into the riverbed. Wherever they went, they took their traffic cone with them. This video was filmed using the MotionMount door mount, which I use for more than 90% of my footage to keep the camera stable. If you're interested in the product, head over to my website richardvanhak.com to place your order. You'll also find other products which may be of interest.
It's just gone 5:40 now, and I've just passed in Kruger picnic site. Shelley decided to stay behind this morning. We were up late last night. The night drive only ended at 10 o'clock, and I think we were back at the campsite at about 10:15, and the night drive really did live up to its expectations. Those lions and then the whiteback night heron probably gonna end up being the highlight sighting of the trip. Really special, the first one that I've seen in the park. Yeah, Lower Sabie really showing off its best side this morning and last night on the night drive. I'm gonna carry on heading towards Kruger now and then make a U-turn to head back to Lower Sabie just as things start heating up. It looks like it's gonna be a warm day today. No clouds in sight and not a breath of wind. I decided to do the S21 and head west from the Kruger picnic site area. I enjoy doing this road in the mornings because the sun is coming up behind you and it makes game viewing on the left hand side and the right hand side of the car comfortable, and you don't have your arm or your neck in the sun, especially this time of year when it gets really hot early in the mornings. And I'm stopped here at a hyena den, and there are a few young ones outside on the side of the road. I'm pretty sure it was adults from the same den that passed by further back down the road. But yeah, it's gotten pretty warm already, and I'm thinking of heading back to Lower Sabie soon. It's just gone 8 o'clock. During the summer months in Kruger, the bush really does go quiet after around 9 o'clock in the morning, when all the animals move off into the shade. And during this trip, that was the time I aimed to head back to Lower Sabie. Since there's hardly any shade in the campsite, we spent the hottest part of the day under the big trees along the fence line in front of the chalets. There was also a lot to see here. Violet-back starlings nesting in the dead tree. These violet-back starlings really have beautiful plumage, and this is one of my favorite ways to film birds moving naturally in and out of their nesting cavity. Things have cooled down nicely. The breeze brought in some clouds and it's covered up the sun. And we're here sitting in the shade in the big trees that are in front of the chalets at Lower Sabie, where we've sat the last few days during the heat. There was a rock monitor which was climbing up a sycamore fig tree. It looked terrified of me, but I did my best to get it on camera before it climbed up out of sight. We decided to head south of Lower Sabie towards Crocodile Bridge, and we're going to do the S130 back up towards Lower Sabie. It's just gone 5 o'clock now and we have got quite a way still to go. Hopefully we get lucky. We parked here at this saddle-billed stork and 2 Egyptian geese have just flown away from this floodplain. But it's a beautiful afternoon. North, east and south of Lower Sabie Rest Camp, the landscape opens up into wide open plains. With the park looking so lush and green, there were plenty of grazers and browsers out, making the most of the conditions.
There's often something to see at the big Lower Sabie Bridge. Where there's flowing water, there's usually an abundance of life. This time we were lucky enough to get footage of the hyena as it passed by on its evening patrol, and not long after we were privileged to witness a display from a beautiful blue wax bill. The male waved a piece of nesting material in the air, attracting a nearby female, and continued his dance right in front of us. Really stunning to watch. It was another picture-perfect evening on the banks of the Sabie River. The next morning we headed up towards Nkuhlu picnic site and then crossed over the H12 bridge and then back towards Lower Sabie on the S30. We were surprised at the amount of hyenas that we saw during our trip, by far the most I had seen on a 4-night stay in the park, and a lot of these guys usually means a lot of other predators and a high amount of food availability.
Welcome to our third morning in the park. Shelley came with me this morning and we headed towards Skakuza from Lower Sabie. We've just turned onto the H12 and crossed over the high water bridge because a bridge got washed away on the main road between the two camps. A few weeks ago there was flooding and it's been a quiet morning. Lots of hyena on the roads and a big herd of impala, but that's just about it. Unlike yesterday morning with the pride of lion there just before Nkuhlu. And yeah, we're going to head towards Skakuza now, do the area just northeast of the camp, and then turn around and head back towards Lower Sabie before things start heating up.
We did the S30 back from Skakuza along the Sabie River, and we saw a nice ground hornbill with, I think it was nesting material in its bill. And then we came here to Sunset Dam, and there was a massive troop of baboons and some white-crowned lapwings which are still around, and also the black-crowned night heron. So we've seen both night herons during our stay here at Lower Sabie. And every summer, weavers build their nests in this dead tree in the middle of Sunset Dam. I guess their nests are safe from any sort of predator which may be after them. But yeah, the Sunset Dam really is a key feature of Lower Sabie. A great spot to watch birds cooling off is this little bird bath along the pathway to the Lower Sabie reception. If you're patient, you'll see a variety of species coming in for a quick dip. We're back at Lower Sabie now. We've been here for about an hour, and I set up the camera on the tripod and was looking for birds around the camp and also along the pathway from the car park to the shop. There's a nice fountain which usually has birds bathing in it, and a robin chat, some bulbuls and a blue waxbill were there. And when I got back to the campsite, there was a little sparrowhawk in a brown ivory tree not far from the campsite. And yeah, thank goodness the tree was wearing one of those labels, otherwise I wouldn't have had any idea what tree it was. Luckily for us, this bird was inside the camp and quite used to people, otherwise it would have flown off immediately. It's only because it's so familiar with human presence and often hunts within the camp that I was able to get footage of it sitting still. We then decided we needed to cool off in the shade before going on our last afternoon drive of the trip.
We're coming to the end of our last afternoon here at Lower Sabie. It's just gone 6 o'clock and we're heading back to the camp now. And we had a pretty uneventful drive. We saw a nice carmine bee-eater, but other than that, the usual suspects. And yeah, this is a beautiful camp though, in a really impressive area of the park. The views you have of the Sabie River when you're driving northwest and south of the camp are really breathtaking. It's definitely one of our favorite camps.
This female bushbuck and her lamb were quietly grazing in front of the chalets. Such a cute little thing, almost as if they were there to say goodbye to us. For our last morning drive, we decided to head south towards Crocodile Bridge and west towards Malalaan Gate. And as it so often goes, your last drive is the most rewarding one.
It's just gone 5:30 and we're close to the southern entrance of the S130, not too far from Lower Sabie, and we're at a roadblock. Really special. It looks like 9 females and 1 big male lion. And we're the only car here. Not often does that happen between Lower Sabie and Crocodile Bridge.
As we came around the corner, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. All these lions staring straight at us, and the fact that we were the only car there made it even more special. Just us and this big pride.
Oh, he's up.
We drove a bit closer to the lions now, and we counted 12, so there's more than we thought, and a few young males, not just the one big male.
We then carried on heading south towards Crocodile Bridge, and the sightings weren't over yet. And then our first leopard of the trip. We arrived at this sighting just in time, because within a few minutes it began to descend the tree, and luckily we had just enough time to reposition the car for the best possible view. While Shelley was filming the flowing water, she managed to get this pied kingfisher diving into the water and catching its lunch. Really special. We then made a quick stop at Afzal picnic site to stretch our legs and grab something to drink before heading towards Malalan Gate.
We've had a really successful morning. We went south from Lower Sabie and then west along the S25 that follows the Crocodile River. And yeah, we got our first leopard of the trip. It only took 4 nights, but we eventually got one. And yeah, you guys know the birds and the other sightings have been so good. The park is so green and there's water everywhere. So it really is just so nice to see and so lush and green. And we stopped at Afzal and now we around the Machulu Bridge, quite close to Malalan Gate, where we're going to go out the park soon. And yeah, it's been so nice making this video. Really has. We saw so much variety at Lower Sabie and now on the drive here towards Malalan. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And please like and subscribe if you did. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye!